Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it may be when you are tuning in. This is Dealing with the Aftermath. Dealing with the Aftermath. Coming out as pure gold. With your hosts, Tanya Reeves, Mary Hale, Patricia Brooks, Beatrice Carter, and Tennille M. Jackson. Dealing with the Aftermath. The show helping you with all your tissue issues. Hey, ladies. Hello, hello, hello. How are you all doing? We have made it to yet another Monday. So, how are you ladies doing since last week?
Doing wonderful.
Doing good, doing good. Glad it's Monday. Hey.
Yes,
Absolutely, absolutely. So
grateful.
I am excited. I love that word, grateful. Absolutely. Any day that we are above ground is a day to be grateful. So I'm excited about tonight's show, ladies. Do y'all remember last week? So last week we talked about love, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and we shared some stuff and things, right? Like it was kind of interesting. I think Tanya was saying like we supposed to be helping the people and we cleansing ourselves, right?
Right, right.
So
Yeah.
tonight's show is going to be interesting because we're going to get some help from the guys on tonight. And I am so excited about our guest. For those of you who are watching, because we are doing it live from not just YouTube, but also our Facebook group dealing with the aftermath. And he is a member of that group. And when we went live initially, he was on one of our panels. And so I am so glad that he decided to come back. And I'm not going to even do the whole long, fancy intros. He's here, he's ready, he's always on fire. We want to give a warm welcome to a friend of the show, Lonnie Newman. Hey,
Hey
Lonnie,
man,
how
hey, how
are
y'all
you?
Hi,
doing?
Lonnie. How are you,
Everybody,
Lonnie?
it's
Hey.
beautiful in this group today. Hey,
Well, first of all, sir, we want to thank you so much for coming on. I don't know if you know, but our tagline with dealing with the aftermath is helping you with your tissue issues. So I'm looking at the sign behind you, and I see all that church hurt. So
yeah.
you know a thing or two about some tissue issues. So for
Listen,
all of the people who may not know who you are, why don't you just give a little bit of an introduction, and then I want you to tell us a little bit about that church hurt.
well, I'm Lonnie Newman. I am associate pastor of Faith, Hope, and Charity Ministries, 354 West 71st Street in Chicago. I'm also one of the Sons of Thunder with on the Sir Walter Jones show. We haven't done it in about a year, but I'm a man of many talents. I'm a construction worker out at O'Hare. I deal with jet fueling. I'm a CEO of Christian STEM Scholars Academy. That's a school we started about 8 years ago. Um, I have my own limo business, a snowplow business, bounce house business, just do some of everything. And I'm currently now a landlord as well now. So I just
Wow.
thank God for all the things He's allowing me to do. Church hurt is something I started about maybe 2 years ago, and it started off as a joke, because a lot of things going in church is actually funny. A lot of things that we do, and people get mad and upset and hurt. And it was just pretty much some people left our church and they said, well, I left because of you, you did this, and I left because of you, you did this, and blamed everybody but themselves.
Come
So
on.
church hurt is a 3-minute segment I do each and every Sunday at about 7:30 or so. And it started off as a joke and it got real because people were like, that helped me, that blessed me. I was like, it was supposed to be a joke. So I started getting serious. So I don't, sometimes I read a book or something like that and get stuff together, but I go straight from whatever I believe God has put it in my spirit at that time. And I just 3 to 5 minutes tops and I'm done every Sunday.
That's what's up. I've tuned
Wow.
into some of those church hurt segments, and just like real quick plug, like when he talked about having a limo business, he has an incredible service because he for my girls when they did their fall ball, he is who I went through, and so they had an incredible time. The driver was absolutely wonderful, and so
My
again,
brother.
you guys connect with Lonnie if you are looking to have a phenomenal experience. Connect with him. And again, as he said, it ain't just that, but if you're in Chicago, he does a plowing business. So you might not need it today, but tomorrow, matter of fact, by the weekend, it's so but we love to support each other. So again, thank you so much for coming on the show, Lonnie. And we're going to jump right into it. So we're talking about love. This is February. It's the month of love. As well, every year, every month should be the month of love, but specifically February is Valentine's Day month. And so we're talking about love all this month. So we started out kind of talking about our favorite celebrity couples. We had to throw in there about Bishop Noel Jones and that whole we had to take it there, right?
I know.
But then we started kind of talking about it a little bit deeper, on a more deep level, with our own personal experiences with love, right? The good, the bad, and the ugly. And for those who may not know, Lonnie is married, and you've been married for how long, Lonnie?
13 years.
So he ain't newly married. He got some under his wings. He a little vet in the game. So
to the same woman.
So wait, say that again, sir. Did he say the same woman?
To the same woman.
We like that. We like that.
Yes,
Absolutely. So we want to start off talking about the good. So when we're dealing with love, from your perspective, being a guy, even before you got married, what did you find the good to be, the good part of love to be?
The good part of love to me was that standard, that statistic that everybody wanted. They wanted that wife that they dreamed about. They wanted the kids. They wanted the dog, the white picket fence. I mean, everybody wanted that fairy tale woman, fairy tale man. And for me, I believed it exists, and it exists if you make it exist.
That's good. That's good. Did you have, like, with your parents, did you have parents in the same home? So did you get that as an example, or did you kind of create your own example?
Listen, I had to create my own example. My father, in my book, in my opinion, he used to be the 5-time, now he's the 6-time divorce champion of the world.
Wow.
My father, Lonnie Jr.
Gotcha.
6 times. And my one marriage lasted longer than all 6 of his combined.
Wow. Do you have any, and again, we're not trying to be that show, but just simply talking about it, like, do you have any thoughts as to what it is that makes it more difficult to stay together? Like, why it is for multiple marriages? Why is it that we keep on trying? I know, like, with us as women, what we kind of stated was we believe in love, so we're gonna keep on trying until we get it right. But then there might be some people that say, well, after the second or third time, I'm gonna leave it alone. But from your perspective, what do you think, that keeps it going to try again and again?
Willing participants. You got to be willing to go in for the long haul. You got to be willing to submit. You got to be willing to say, you know what, I was wrong. You got to be willing to forgive not only yourself, but her or him, or however you want to say. You got to be willing to work together. You got to be able to compromise. Without being able to compromise, it's just not going to happen. And you got to be able to, what I teach, because I've married a lot of people, as a minister, and I teach people, if you can deal with the worst quality of a person, you can make it, because sometimes we see the best, and we see the nice things and the happy things and the bling blings and the movies and the dinner, and that's all cool. But what about that other side that you hadn't seen yet? What about that thing? Oh my God, would you stop doing that? It's driving me nuts. What? You knew that before you met me, but I thought when I married you, it was going to change. But you can't change me. I am who I am. Accept me for who I am. You know what I'm saying? Being able to deal with that worst quality of a person and being able to move beyond and past little things. Well, I did that. Yeah, I messed up. Let's move forward. We can't keep living in the past. We got to move forward, because if we keep looking in the rearview mirror, if we don't put our eyes through that windshield, we're going to crash. And that's what
Lonnie,
happened.
I have a question for you.
Yes, ma'am.
It may be a little deep, but I'm
Okay, let's
going
get
there.
deep. I'm ready.
Because I heard you say the S word,
Uh-oh.
submission.
Yes.
What does submission look like to you overall and in your marriage? And is it just the woman that submits, or do both spouses submit to each other?
Very good question. Let's go to the Bible. Ephesians, the 5th chapter. The Bible says, wives, submit to your husband as unto the Lord. If your husband is submitting to the Lord, and if your husband is doing what he's supposed to unto the Lord, then the wife is supposed to submit to him, because she's basically submitting to God, because he is the head and he's doing what God wants him to do. And if he's doing what God wants him to do, she's following and working together. They're accomplishing God's goal for their marriage, or for marriage as it is. Both are supposed to submit, right? It's not one-sided. It's never been one-sided. And I dislike a lot of teachings of old, preachers and stuff like that, old ministers that say, oh, you supposed to submit to me. No, I ain't supposed to do nothing but stay black and die. I learned that on Lean On Me. That's what I'm supposed to do. But I am supposed to love you as Christ loved the church, and he gave himself for the church, right? If I'm your husband and you are my wife, the Bible teaches that you're a reflection of me. When people see you, they see me. And if they see you and they see me, then I want the best representation of me to go forth before the people.
That's it.
One of the worst things anybody can want in the world is to see that wife. Oh my God, look at his wife, that nappy head. Oh my God, she don't look like she don't look like she loved. No, when she step out, I want them to be like, dang, girl, somebody love you.
Come on.
So many people get that wrong. So many people get that wrong, and I think it's because maybe they don't submit to each other, and they bring a lot of selfishness into the relationship. I think you should want your spouse to be an excellent representation of you, because your spouse is you.
That's right.
That's right.
Just like the songwriter said, just forget about yourself and concentrate on him. We got to forget about ourselves, because it's no more about us, but it's a team effort. And as they say, it's no I in team. We got to work to accomplish the goals together. We got to set goals, and we got to work together to fight to make these things right.
Absolutely.
To make them happen.
Tanya, look like you trying to say something. What you trying to bring to the table?
I'm actually just listening right now. But I did have a question. What did you look for in your wife before you decided to make her your wife? Like, what made you want to be married to her? What makes you want to stay married to her?
Hips, lips, and fingertips. No, I'm just playing. No, my wife's 97 pounds soaking wet. Honestly, okay, let me tell you the story. Picture it, Sicily, 1984. No, me and my wife met at work. We work at O'Hare, and she's a security guard there, and I was working there. And when I saw it, it was like, because at that time I had been hurt. I'd been in a situation where a lady burned my house down. And yeah, I've been through some stuff.
That's real.
And
Baby,
I had given up.
The next segment.
Yeah, I didn't get.
Oh.
Last show with that baby. No.
Yeah.
But I was done with women. Like, I had given up. I said, you know what? I'm just gonna be a player like my daddy. I ain't even gonna do nothing. But then when I saw her, it was like all that changed. It was like, I don't want to be a player no more. So I was like, man, I'm about to talk to that. And the funny thing is, I had seen her before, but maybe a year before. And at that time, she didn't have a kids when I first seen her. But I was too busy to go run over and talk to her. And I didn't think that it was going to be a whole nother year before I can see her again. So when I seen her, I approached her. I was escorting some guys in. I had to sign them in. And then she signed us in. And she was like, well, here, Mr. Newman, you know what to do. I was like, yeah, I'm going to sign my name right over here and sign my name for him right over here. And I'm going to put my phone number right here so you can call me later.
Oh.
He was like, no. He was like, no. I'm like, oh, okay, well, I tried, you know. She like, put your phone number over here so I can read it easy. I'm like, I got it.
Oh, nice.
And just after talking to her, I think about 2 weeks later, we were engaged.
Wow.
2 weeks later, we met June 27th, 2006, and we were engaged July 11th, 2006. And
you don't waste no time.
Listen, when you know what you want, go after
When
it.
you know, you know.
When
You know.
You don't gotta sit. Listen, I get so upset when people tell us we engaged. You've been engaged for 5 years. When you gonna get married? Either you know what you want or you don't.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
You know?
True.
So, and it's been 13 years, so we doing something right.
Y'all are. That's awesome.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Well, I want to quickly just acknowledge everybody who is watching both on Facebook and on YouTube, and to let you guys know, if you have any questions, feel free to ask away in the comment section. And as well as if you have any comments, you can go ahead and comment as we go. But we are joined tonight by Lonnie, and he is talking to us right now. We've been talking about the good of love. So this man, something was good with love, because he saw before she was his wife, he saw her, and 2 weeks later, he like, I'm taking you off the market. You ain't gonna belong to nobody else but me.
That's
and
right.
so, so now, having been married for 13 years, what do you find to be the best part of love?
The best part of love is waking up to your family, to seeing my children, to seeing what we've accomplished together over 13 years, to think about all the good, the bad, the ugly, the indifferent over the years, and to see where we are now, and to see us growing. We're maturing. I mean, when we met out after my house got burned with the one girl, I had to use my mama bank account. I had to do like some crazy stuff. And it was like, I know I make the money to do this. Why am I struggling, And to see we're not struggling, we're not hurting. We're traveling a little bit more. We're starting businesses. We're just really, really doing stuff. And even with the school, she get mad at me when I say it. I'm like, listen, you got to understand, we're a standard couple. Like we're what people are looking to be. Both parents at home, married, go to church, with kids, got businesses, own their own home. I was like, so our kids need to do things a certain way, because people are looking at us. And if we don't got it together and they're trying to figure out how to get it together, then we're doing something wrong. And don't put all that pressure on us. We are the standard family. We are what people are looking to have, and we got it. So now what we do, it is so important, because people need this. The world, the community, they need what we got. And we need to take it to the level that it's supposed to be.
Absolutely.
Right. Speak your truth.
Amen.
Tell your story.
Come on. Patricia, what you thinking over there, girl?
Somebody got a collection plate? No, but so hi Lonnie, nice meeting you.
Baby.
So my question is, so I'm pretty much in the same situation as you. Me and my husband have been married a little over 11 years. So it'll be 12 for us at the end of this year in October. And we have known each other half of our lives as teenagers. And so for me, I thought everything was going to change too when we got married, but we moved out of like our respective families' homes, right? I never had lived on my own or with another person before I married. And so a lot of things, changed just from, learning how to live together. That even took us a very long time. So my question for you is like, how do you and your wife navigate those everyday moments of life? Like you say, you have all these businesses, you have the children, you have this, you have that. People think that people that are in church have like this, you know what I'm saying? That, the fairy tale you was talking about, like it stayed, like the fairy tale just never went away. Like some people, it's just keep on going. Every day it's the fairy tale, or that y'all all have it together. Like, you know what I'm saying? You're an associate pastor, you have the wife, and y'all seem to have the perfect life. Y'all know you and your wife are marriage goals, right? You know what I'm saying? So how do you continue to navigate that and stay together so you can make it 14 years, 15 years, 16 years, and so on and so forth?
She put it all on me. No, she handles the kids. She takes all the things with the kids, and and I definitely try my best to do that as well. But I pretty much do everything else. And we just got a really great group of people that we can depend on, that can help us out, that I can call on, and they'll definitely do whatever we need them to do. And it's just a blessing to have such a great network of people that you can depend on and rely on. So it's not just us ourselves able to do this, but we got people that we can depend on, like Dr. Joe Phillips. I can call him for anything. My brother Terrence Timms, he, Leonard Razor. Like, we got people that we can call on, and they'll stop what they're doing and they'll say, hey, you know what? I'm gonna help you out because you guys have blessed us, you've helped us, and we just do that for each other. Another thing we have, and it's not just us, we're in a group of 5 other couples.
That part.
Mhm.
We got 5 other couples, or 4, I'm sorry, that we vacation together, Thanksgiving, Chris, we went on a cruise together, couples cruise, and it was like, well, what goes on this cruise, staying on this cruise.
That is so key.
So it's Leonard Razor, that's my brother. We went to grammar school together. He's the assistant pastor at our church. Him and his wife, he's the baddest musician, baddest organist this side of heaven. Him and Dr. Walter Jones. And he's married to his wife. They have 4 kids, a set of twins, and then 2 older kids. And he's a professional musician. He's a songwriter, all that good stuff. He's toured with some of the best. He's been on some CDs, all that good stuff. He's also the head of the IT department for the Homewood Flossmoor School District.
Wow.
Joseph Daniel Phillips, him and his wife. He's a manager over 16 different buildings for UIC campus. He's also an organist. He's also just a graphic designer, and just some of everything he does. Great supporter. Then we got my cousin, Timothy Lucas. Him and his wife, he is a district manager for the Missouri district with Home Depot. And he's a drummer. And then my cousin, Terrence Timms, him and his wife, she's a nurse. And he just does jobs all over for me, for himself. And he just does some great, great things. And all of us, we find time in our busy schedule to come together to network and to just, we got a group on Messenger where we all kind of chime in and say different things. And we're actually looking at doing an Airbnb thing. We're going to buy like a $500,000 home somewhere, and we want to start together. And this is our place to go on vacation or to have whatever. Then we're going to buy another one somewhere else. And before you know it, we're going to buy enough of them to where this one will be mine. Having a network of people that you can work with, that you can vibe with, that you can share with. And it's not about who got the most money or who can do this the most. What we all just come together, respected men, and by the way, all ministers and deacons. So we love God, we love our wives, we're businessmen, we all got kids, and we're all doing great.
That's what's up.
That is so awesome. Sorry, Tennille, but you are speaking my language, because I have been telling my husband for years. I'm like, because we do not have any married friends. And I'm like, dude, we need some married friends. We need a community of married people. The people are single. The people I know are single. And so this past couple of weeks ago, we went to Tennessee for a couple's, getaway with this couple group. And it was cool. I had my own little experience, because I'm really like an introvert, extrovert. And I'm just like, hey, how you doing? You know what I'm saying? I expected more, what I'm saying? And we did meet a few people, but we were like new timers and, first timers. And I'm just like, it was okay. The experience was great. Black people all coupled up, looking awesome, edifying each other, building each other up, a lot of Black love. So I love that part of it. So no shame in that. It was just, we're still trying to find our niche with some couple friends, because we don't have one, and I know have any rather. And I know that is key for being in a marriage.
Yes, it is.
And
Having someone that you can relate to.
I think too, going back to what you were just going to say, Lonnie, like having people that you can relate to, that it's a safe space to do so. And then also like bringing out the fact that you and your wife, you build together, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like bonding, being able to bond in a relationship is so crucial. Like,
Yes.
I say that you don't even understand how many times I say that. Like, it's great to be together, but it's wonderful to be together. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that so many times people feel like the only togetherness in a marriage or relationship is just sexual intimacy, but it's like when that's not there,
That's right.
if you built something together, then that's going to keep you no matter what. And so I love hearing, all the various things that you guys are doing together, you and your wife are doing together, because at the end of the day, you still have to have your separate lives, right? Like, she has to be able to maintain the home, you're going out and you're working, but the fact that you make time together. So like, when you guys got together, was that something that you consciously did from the beginning, or did you just find that, like, as life was happening, if we don't do this now, we gonna get buried? How did that come about?
Well, about the 2 weeks when we got engaged, she basically said, is this the booty call, or you gonna get married? Because if you do, this is the ring I want. And I'm like, well, I would like to get married sometime. Well, let's go out to Indiana, Michigan City, and put some money on this ring. I'm like, all right, let's go.
Okay.
And then
Let's go.
Because she's like, I ain't playing. I'm like, I ain't playing either. You know what I'm saying? Man.
Love it.
It was definitely, I believe it was love at first sight. And I actually, honestly, for me, I think I was too much for her. And the reason I said,
keep going.
The reason I said
All right, Lonnie.
She was just like, oh, you're too good to be true. You got some skeletons in your closet. My family say you crazy because you can't be this man that you portray yourself to be. I'm like, man, I'm like on Good Times, Wanda the Watusi, because what you see is what you get. I ain't putting on no act. I ain't putting on no show. This is me. Like, I'm who I am. I'm open. I'm transparent. This is what it is. So.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And
I think I heard you say, Lonnie, I want to backtrack a little bit, that it would appear not that you need accountability, but it would seem that those other couples, you all are accountability partners, couples for each other, and that is so needed. And what popped into my head was, the saying, it takes a village to raise a child. Well, I think I heard you say it takes a village to raise a family and a couple and all of that.
Yes,
and let the church say, baby.
Baby. Yeah. Gotta cock that head to the side. So it was actually, thinking about this, it was a situation we were having. And my wife was mad and she was going to tell everybody, all the couples and stuff. So then all of them kept calling me and texting me. I'm like, wow, is everybody calling me all of a sudden and texting me? I'm like, what's nothing's going on. I'm fine. I'm good. So then, Joe, listen, don't bother me because Joe coming. Joe came, picked me up, took me out to eat.
Yes.
And he said, do we need to talk? I was like, what? Did she talk to you? Yeah, she talked to me. Let's pray.
I love that.
Then he sat down. I'm like, bro, it's not what you think. This is what it is. She thought too much of it. She take one thing and she run everywhere with it. Listen, I'm trying to teach you that. but everybody was like, come on. I know, Lonnie, we know you. We know you ain't going, And she was it's over exaggerating, basically. They was like, they had to calm her down. They was like, girl, you exaggerating.
But y'all have that love for each other. And so that makes a difference, because then it doesn't feel like they're intruding, that they're intrusive into your marriage, that they genuinely love you, love your family, love your wife. So they're not intruding. Mm-hmm. They're being helpful. They're being family.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
The good side of family.
The good side. That's right.
Absolutely. And you know what? For those who are just now tuning in, we are talking to Lonnie about love. Tonight's topic is love, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So we've spent like the first segment talking about the good stuff. And on this show, we like to be real because we want to help you with all your tissue issues. So everything is not always going to be good. It's not always peaches and cream. And sir, if you have been married for 13 years, I know that everything have not been good. And we're not not trying to get into all your business.
Let's get into it. I got something to say.
Help the people on tonight. We're gonna break the last two segments. It's sometimes a little bit a little thin line between the two, the bad and the ugly. So maybe the ugly you've been kind of alluding to. We're gonna hold off on the ugly because the ugly didn't happen. That happened before your wife. But when you're in a relationship, what's some of the bad things, especially like for men? Because like with women, a lot of times, like when our partners are not emotional, when they're not connecting with us, that's something we find to be bad. But from a man's point of view, what's the bad part of love?
So, okay, so this is some people they disagree with me, but then there's some people that agree with me on this. My wife, I remember one time I was watching the TV show The Game, and Derwin hid his checkbook in the refrigerator, and she went and said, "Where's your checkbook in the refrigerator?" You know, and she like, matter of fact, why am I not on your checking account? And then my wife looked over, why am I not on your checking account? So I looked at her, why am I not on your checking account? So to me, in order for it to work, you can have a joint account. I'm cool with that if y'all want, but be honest about it. What you put in, what I put in, we put in together. It's for the house, and you know, be cool with that. But if you gonna make it work, money is the root to all that. The love of money is the root to all that is evil. And if you don't have that fine line taken care of, you'll have problems all the time. You went and bought another Louis Vuitton. You done went and bought another Gucci purse. You done bought. What do you need with all of those purses? Why do you need another pair of shoes?
Hey, leave alone. Leave alone.
You know what I'm saying? So the money thing can really, really destroy if you don't have that taken care of. I have my account. She have her account. Matter of fact, I even got the account for the kids. It works. People don't think it works. No, you supposed to join everything together. I have a sister. She did that, and she had that joint. But then when they got rocky times, and she said he took all the money. So you just gotta be prepared for the best. Be prepared for the worst, because when you start playing with money, people want to kill you. People want to act the fool. People want to slash tires and bust windows, and so that's one of the biggest things right there that can turn a marriage and make it. I'm a giver. Listen, if I go to Vegas and I lose $20, I'm hurt. I'm mad. I'm about ready to scream and beat somebody down. But I'll give $100. I'll give $200. It don't mean nothing to me. I'll give, if somebody in need, my wife. What are you doing giving our money away? What are you doing about it? You shouldn't do that. No, it's mine. I can't give it away. The house is paid for. The bills are paid. The kids are fed. Everything that needs to be in place is in place. And I saw a need over there. And I tell you one thing. Okay, so at church, the pastor says we want to give pledges. And I just so happen to have been doing like phenomenal at work. So I had a little something, you know. So everybody's coming up and they would write down their pledge. So I went to him and I whispered in his ear. I said, $5,000. Lonnie, give me $5,000. You weren't supposed to say that. You're supposed to keep that between bros. Oh, did I 2 weeks. You can get a church $5,000. You can buy me another pair of earrings. You can get a church $5,000. You can do this, that. I was blessed. And I wanted to be a blessing. And why not? You know, what we gonna do? You know, we got, listen, honestly, I got everything I could ever want. I don't want anything more is to me is just greedy. I got, with me having my family, my loved ones, my wife, like, well, you could have just gave it to me. You could have gave me the $5,000. You're missing the point.
Yeah.
It's for the church. It's gonna benefit and bless other people. But I kept getting in trouble because of that.
But you know what? But that is so good that you bring it out. And I know the ladies probably have some commentary on that as well. But that is definitely something that many couples
Yeah.
disagree about,
Yes.
argue about, and
Yes.
even divorce over.
Yes.
Because when you talking about money, like everybody, and for me, when I got married, that was one of the things we did sit down and talk over, right? Like there was a lot of things we didn't do the first time around. Well, I'm saying the first time around, but I'm still the same person. But like we didn't do, so I should say at the beginning, we didn't do, but that was one of the things that we did do. You know, like we understood your spending habits are totally different than my spending habits. Your saving habits are totally different than my saving habits. And so, you know, a lot of times people will say to you, because I remember even when we were dealing with a counselor, and the counselor was like, wait a minute, y'all got separate accounts? Like when you get married, because there are certain people that kind of program you to think that once you get married, everything is supposed to be joint. But to me, that's always between that man and that
That's
woman.
right.
It's whatever works best for you.
That's right.
Saying, well, the man has to do this and the woman has to do this. Like for us, we're not ones that's big. I'm not one that's big on gender roles. Like you do what needs to be done.
Amen.
Amen. So like, as long as we sit down and we agree what's going to work for us, it don't have to be what they doing next door. It don't have to be what my parents did. It don't have to be what you gonna do. Absolutely. But if it works for us, then that's all that should matter. And so when you were talking about the money, like that was, you know, for me, it's like, I didn't even ask my husband what he's doing with his money, because that's your money. Like as long as the bills are paid, as long as the kids got what they need, then you deserve to have something and I deserve to have something. So Patricia, I'm really kind of interested to hear from you. Like what is like the rule, if you will, of the Brooks household? How do you guys deal with that type of situation?
The Brooks and Miller household. I know I don't use my married name, but I have to put it out there, you know. I am a taken woman, and that is his last name.
Well, I'm gonna need you to put hyphen Miller on that.
It's coming. Okay, so we do not have a joint bank account. We should. I think we should. I think there should be a joint, and I think there should be individuals, right? So I think that, and I'm cool with the individual thing. We should have probably talked. We have gotten into some stuff about some money, not necessarily about what I buy, because he probably spends more than me, but I have and probably acquired and came into some, you know, the marriage with a whole bunch of stuff. And then I do my stuff sporadically. And the next thing you know, I got like 25 pair of shoes. And he like, what? And I'm just like, But you know what I'm saying? So we have definitely had some arguments about some money. I pay the bills physically. He gives me the money for certain things. And then, we do it like that with a split situation, but I think it could be better. I don't think it's something that, I think it changes over time. So where probably will work for us, maybe, even last year probably is not working for us anymore, or, things like that, then you have, job gains and job losses and this and that. So your money gets all fluctuated and funny at times. Mm-hmm. So you have to go through that. I do know that, marriages can break up because of finances. And actually they're number one over infidelity. And so, because people think that's the thing, but it's really money. But I mean, when you play with people money and the money is funny, and then the man supposed to be the provider and he ain't no more, you be like,
baby,
get it together. You know what I'm saying? And I just want to touch real quick on the, gender roles. I'm not shoveling no snow.
No, me neither.
I'm not shoveling snow and doing certain things, but we're good on a lot of, of those things. But the money, like I say, it's always a conversation that needs to be had at every interval, right? So whether you have those businesses or not, whether you're, what kind of money's coming in, whether you took a pay cut for this job or you got a pay raise for that one, conversation and communication needs to be had on every interval of those, differences and changing of that money, because that can make or break a relationship. You know what I'm saying? It can be very stressful. during married times when those things are happening. So you definitely have to communicate openly about that money issue.
Absolutely agreed.
I have a question for Lonnie, kind of piggybacking on Patricia a little bit. Since we kind of picking on you, Lonnie, since you're the fellow in the group and you're married, who in your marriage, in your particular marriage, who initiates the hard conversation? Is it you or your wife? Mostly, I know it can be.
It's mutual.
Mutual?
It's mutual.
Okay, that's great.
I would say the same.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times it's the woman and the man don't want to talk, and not all the time, I understand. But don't want to talk, don't bring me no bad news, that kind of thing. So the fact that it's mutual, that's awesome.
You know what? I have a saying, I would rather you tell me the truth and be honest with me and hurt my feelings now. Make me feel bad now. I would be more hurt if I had to find out a lie or find out later. No, let's get it out. Let's get out of the open. Let's go, because when we go to bed, I want this to be the end of this. I don't have to ever want to hear this again. Hurt me now. And then let's cry, let's fight, let's argue right now. Because if this have to happen 2 months, 3 months, a year later, it always gonna tear me up. Tear me up.
I agree. Break my heart now. Break it now. Let's get it over with. And then we can move on.
We're all on edge and we're all ready to, let's just do it now. Because we go on and start living a lie, and then later on you say, well, I got something to tell you. No, I don't want to hear it now. It's too late. You had your chance to say no.
So keep it to yourself now. Just hold on.
Because it'll mess you up. We were going through something one time, and I shared this story on my church hurt a few times, but I didn't realize that so we were going at it like cats and dogs. We were mad at each other, and then the one time we were about to get a divorce. Like, I'm like, divorce this, we getting divorced. And she said, Lonnie, you don't listen to me. You put everybody before me, the church before me, your friends before me. You are, and I'm like, I couldn't even say nothing. I couldn't say nothing. It was like she put the pause in me, and I was just like, "You're right."
That's hurtful to a woman. That's hurtful to a wife. Because I'm not getting on you, but that should not be.
Because it was like, the house is taken care of, the kids are taken care of. I did everything. You don't need nothing. Yeah. And I'm, what more do you need from me? We do everything.
She needs you.
Yeah, that's why I pointed. That's why I pointed. That it's you she needs.
And when I looked in the mirror at myself and saw, I'm like, you are absolutely right. You are 110% right. I see why you was acting out. I see why we were going through this. I see why this stuff happening. So it took me about, oh my God, it took me like a week. I think Mother's Day was that week. Her mama came to church. Her grandma came to church. And I went and and got all the stuff she wanted. She wanted to get a new TV. You want this? You want whatever she wanted. I was excited to get it all. And I went before the church, and I said, and I told my pastor I was gonna do it, but then I kind of chickened out at the end, and he's like, "No, you gonna do this."
Okay.
So
accountability.
And I went up there and I apologized on Mother's Day in front of her mother.
Come on,
do it. And I put a big old rose gold Pandora bracelet on her arm, and I apologized, and I asked that she would forgive me. And I would definitely do better and pay more attention and do what's needed to make things right.
Cause I'm sorry, Deatrice. I gotta stick in here. You don't hit me, okay? Let me tell you something, because I think a lot of times men do not understand the importance of that quality time. Like, I think that a lot of times men put so much emphasis on being the provider, right? So for guys, it's so much about, okay, I'm paying the bills, I'm giving you this, I'm doing, like, it's the physicality of it. That's because I think you guys are, because you're the physical strength, you look at your contribution as only being physical. So that when it comes to the emotional connection, a lot of times that's beyond you. Like, why do I need to be at home? Why do I need to do this? Why? And then especially when you are within the church, because a lot of times you're like, well, I'm pledging my time, my life to God, and you try to make it be, well, isn't that good enough, or where is the competition? And it's not a competition, like, but it's still important. It's not for the woman saying that I'm more important than God, but it is to say that you married me, you physically married me, and I'm physically here on earth, and I should still be a priority for you.
Yes.
Now go ahead, Dee.
I was just gonna say that it's what you said before. Treat your wife like Christ treats the church.
That's
you know, like his bride, like his betrothed. And I'm not pointing at you, and I'm not pointing the finger at you, because us women, we have our own stuff too that we have to deal with and that we have to apologize for as well. But for us that believe in Christ and in the Bible and that are saved, I know a lot of times we think that there are no go-to, no rules, no advice on dating and courting and marriage, but there really is. It's all in the Bible.
Yes, it
Even
is.
before you get married, it's in the Bible. No, they don't tell you how to date and what to do physically, but if you do unto others as you would have them do unto you, that's advice.
That's right.
You know, love one another as you would love yourself. That's advice on how to treat people, how to date, how to court, and how to be married, plus the specific instructions that are in there for marriage and how to treat your spouse.
That's right.
That's all I was going to say.
That's right.
Absolutely. That is so good, Deatrice. As well as Tennille was talking about the the quality time and what your wife was looking for. For me, I did not have that problem, because quality time is actually my husband's love language. And so he used to be like this, that's how I felt. I felt smothered, but I never want to tell him that. But quality time is his love language. And I did not know how to love him the way he needed to be loved in that quality time. I was always out of the house. I was gone, baby. You can't catch me on the flip side, because that's where I'm going to be. So and I didn't know that. I didn't understand it. And when I really started to understand, I'm like, oh, okay. You want me. You know what I'm saying? You want my quality time. You want that from me. And so I was like, okay, because I thought, well, shoot, I'm your wife. I'm doing my wifely duties, and I'm taking care of this, that, the third. And what else do you want? Well, he wanted me. He wanted to be with me. And I didn't understand it for a very long time.
Absolutely.
I actually have the love language written down here, and I was going to ask. I was going to ask Lonnie, did he know his love language? I know you do. And your wife's love language, as well as the panel.
I'm still trying to figure her love language out, but no. But actually, part of that. Okay, so here, when I do marriage counseling, this is one of the things I do after speaking, like 1 Corinthians 7 chapter, hands down. I go from top to bottom on that, because that, it says, let every husband and every wife render unto each other due benevolence, and he's basically saying, when you're supposed to allow your body is not yours, it's your spouse's, right?
That's right.
That's the Bible. That's what Apostle Paul said. He says, better to marry than to burn. Right. Yeah. He said, let every wife have her own husband, and every husband have his own wife. Right. And render unto each other due benevolence, because if you don't, you give the enemy an occasion to come in and mess with your spouse, because somebody else gonna catch that eye and be like, I take it, you won't take it, I take it today. And you don't want that. But that's one thing I talk about. 1 Corinthians 7 chapter, read it. It's very good on marriage. Second one is this 5 basic needs of a man and 5 basic needs of a woman. I'm not going to go into great detail. I'll just tell you the basic need for right now, for the sake of time. So the number 1 basic need for a woman, I'm kind of on the fence about this, because it's the first 2. I think the number 2 should be number 1, and number 1 should be number 2. But the first one, it says, is affection. Yeah. Women want affection. It moves a woman. The second one is communication and conversation. I think that's number 1. A woman wants to be heard. A woman wants to voice her opinion, and she wants to really let you know, hey, this is what's on my mind. And if she can't tell you, she's going to tell a friend. And if she don't tell her friends, she's gonna tell somebody else. Until you listen to her, she's gonna be. Why are you always talking to the people? I want to tell you, but you're not listening to me. You want
Or she's gonna bottle it up and then later explode.
Exactly.
Or she'll bottle it up and then explode.
That's why we get attitude in the neck roll and baby. And another thing. Now they say this for a woman, but I believe it's for a man too. Trust and honesty is number 3.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta be honest, and you gotta listen.
Yeah.
If you can't be real with me, keep it to yourself. I don't want to hear about it. Be honest, be real. If I catch you on a lie, that's gonna be a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Number 4 is security. Women need to feel secure. If something about to go down, and not just somebody to protect them, but also financial security and support. They need to know that you got this.
Mm-hmm.
They need to know that they're not about to be on Lord Wacker. They need to know that they're gonna have another meal. They need to know they're gonna be able to buy the next Louis and Dooney and Burke and all that stuff. They need to feel that. The kids ain't gonna go starving. They need to know that. And number 5, family commitment. That's something they learn from day one. Pushing a little baby in a stroller, have the little playhouse and all that. Y'all learning how to be great wives. Y'all learning how to be great mothers. They need that. Now for men, it's number 1 is respect and admiration. Men they need to feel like they're the king. They might not be the king, but they need to feel it. They need to feel like it. You the best. You the only one. I love you. You the man. Number 2 is sexual fulfillment. Man, I think that's on both parts too.
Well, I was gonna say, but I think that might be number 1. How you said the switch?
Yeah, switch. Yeah, right. Number 1 for the man, and number that they need sexual fulfillment. Men be going through, Number 2, recreational companionship. They every now and then they want to go fishing with you, bowling with you. They want to watch sports or something like that. They just need to know that when we go and do stuff that you in for it too. Like just like you want the conversation, the man want to know if he got a buddy, because if not, he gonna go and find his best friend. They go, come on, let's go to the game. Let's go do this. But that's my time. But you don't really like that. So they need to know that you like the talk and you like the conversation. But I like the Bulls. I like the Bears. And I need to know that you're going to be with me on that, right?
Absolutely.
Number 3, an attractive spouse. Yeah, you got married, but every now and then still keep your hair combed. Still put a little makeup on. Still wear that nice, sexy thing that caught my eye when I first met you. Don't be wearing all baggy stuff and get all, no, I got it, man. I ain't got to look like this. No. Every now and then we might need to go to the gym together. We may have to go bike riding, or we may have to go do something to keep ourselves fit. Because women want something good to look at too.
You're right, sir.
That's for both of them. And number 5, domestic support. They need to know mama gonna take care of the house. She gonna take care of the kids. She gonna hold things down for me. So.
That's so good.
Yeah.
I'm going to rewind that and write those lists down that you use in counseling. That's good. That's good. We need a refresher all the time.
Yes, we do.
So all of that said, though, what is your specific love language? What's yours?
Mine is just to know that you're there and care. I'm simple. I'm easy. It don't take much for me. You thought about me? What? Today? What? Shut your mouth and keep talking. That's sexy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Not afraid to commit, not afraid to step out and just do something, show the initiative and just, I'm easy. It don't take much for me.
Tanya, what's yours? You've been quiet tonight. What's your love language?
I just like to be attended to. It's okay to get the gifts and all of that stuff. Yeah, you want that. It makes you feel special. But if you get in the gifts and getting taken care of financially, but you don't spend no time with your loved one, it kind of just make you feel like, okay, money isn't everything. Yes, you want to make sure you have financial security. You want to make sure the roof is over your head and you don't have to worry about if the lights and gas and water gonna get cut off or anything like that, but you want to just you want to have a conversation with your spouse. You want to cuddle with your spouse from time to time. Why, even if it's just watching a movie together from time to time, married or unmarried, because I'm not married, I'm single, and that's important to me. If you want to spend some time when you want to be my husband one day, you got to at least show me you got time for me.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Date. You got to still date. Every now and then you got to have a date night, a Saturday, a Friday, or something. Once a month, twice a month, whatever. You still got to find time for one another. You got to do what you did in the beginning to what it took to get her. It's take to keep her.
Absolutely.
And him.
Ms. D, what's your love language?
I have two. And to me, I know I probably shouldn't be able to pick two, but there are two. They're intertwined.
Mm-hmm.
It's quality time and physical touch.
Mm-hmm.
Because I tell everybody quality time, but if we're quality time, if we're spending time together, we probably touching. And I don't mean, we just we touching.
Right.
So quality time and physical touch. But as I've gotten older, I've decided I want all the love languages. I want them all.
That's right.
I want them in order. And probably for me, gifts is probably the last one. But we're gonna do quality time and physical touch, and then words of affirmation and gifts and acts of service probably is number 4, and then gifts is probably, I like gifts, but gifts is probably last. I want all the love languages. Y'all can quote me on that. I want all of them.
You want all of them.
That's right.
Miss Patricia, what's your love language?
So before I say what it is, your love languages actually can intertwine. You can have a primary, a secondary, and so on and so forth. So obviously we're talking about the 5 love languages. Who the book is written by Gary Chapman. I have read majority of the book. Years ago, I found this out when I took the test. My husband also took the test right after Oprah ended her show, but she was still having these little segment pieces at Harpo. Me, my best friend, and my husband actually went to Harpo, and that's how we figured out what was our love. We had took the test before we went, and he was there and she was there. We had an awesome time. But my love language, number 1 is acts of service. Like I already said, my husband's is quality time. So basically for me, let my husband wash my car. Let him fill it up with some gas, baby. It's on tonight. Let him also wash them dishes. I'm like, baby, you is trying to get it.
What's his number? Let me call him real quick.
Right.
Yeah.
Make sure you
I'm
got
about to bless him right now. I'm gonna tell him what the Spirit said to me.
You know, so that's just how it is. His is quality time. He wants, my time, and mine is acts of service. And we good. We good.
And I think for me, as I've gotten older, mine have evolved, right? So when I was younger, words of affirmation was it, because I was, young, insecure, no self-esteem. So I needed for, him to tell me, you're beautiful, I love you, you're great, you're this, so, because I felt like if he wasn't saying it, then it wasn't so, and so as I grew and as I healed, words of affirmation became less important. And for me, quality time tied with acts of service became more important. Like, I don't need to hear all this no more. The lip service is great, but I need to see something. Like, you need to show me something. And, when you get busier, as you were saying, Lonnie, when you have all of these businesses, you got so much stuff going on, it's so important to be able to spend that time together, because it's like when you do it on your own, I didn't have to beg you. You just on your own were like, I missed you. Like, that means something. And I missed you enough not to just say I miss you, but I missed you. So come on, let's go out to brunch. I missed you. Let's get away for the weekend. Like, it don't have to be a birthday. It ain't got to be a holiday. Just because you felt the same way. You used the word mutual earlier. It's great to have a mutual relationship where it's not just one party is doing all of the work, one party is putting in all the effort, but it's great to be loved and it's great to feel love. It's great to give love and it's great to receive love. And so, so that's kind of where I am with it. But believe it or not, y'all, we have already boiled down to this hour. And so what we do on this show, Lonnie, we love to be able to kind of give, like, as I call it, we're going to clear all hearts and minds are clear. You know, when you at church, before you get a benediction, all hearts and minds are clear. So we allow each person to kind of go around and give their final remarks. And so since you are our special guest tonight, we'll start with you. What's the last thing that you would like to leave with the audience on tonight?
With God, all things are possible. Trust him and he shall direct your path. I trust God. I love God. When I believe if you do God's business, God will do your business. I'm reminded of that same time I was saying when we were going through and I realized that I was wrong. I went all up in my house. I went to every room. I went and I said, Lord, bless this house, bless this marriage, bless every head, sleep on these pillows. I went outside my house and I went up around this house and I called on the name of God in such a way that everybody started waking up and trying to figure out what's going on. Oh, we're going to have some church up in this place. Because this house shall be called a house of prayer. And I believe God in my marriage because I meant what I said. I was wrong and I wanted to make things right. And in order for me to make things right, I had to trust God and call on him so that he can intervene in what was going on, because I'd be doggone if the devil got the victory in this marriage.
Amen.
Come on. Now, if they want to get in touch with you, Lonnie, how can people connect with you?
Facebook, Lonnie Newman, bossmoveschicago@gmail.com. Facebook is probably the easiest way. You can check me out on YouTube. You can check me out on, I do our Sunday school each and every Sunday at the Faith Place Chicago. And Faith, Hope, and Charity Ministries, Lonnie Newman, or get in touch with Tonell or Deatrice or one of you all. You can get in touch with me very easy. I'm easy to get in touch with.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Come on, Miss Patricia, empty that heart and mind of yours. What you want to leave tonight?
So all I want to say is that, it took me a very, very long time to understand the team dynamic in marriage. And, my husband would always drill it into me. And I'm like, dude, we ain't on no basketball team. Come on, that. I didn't get it, right? And now I do. So the marriage is a partnership. It's a business. Mm-hmm. It's about communication and teamwork because it makes the dream work.
Absolutely.
And so that's my last final thoughts for tonight.
Ms. Tanya?
While we were talking, I did want to ask Lonnie a question, but we can wait for another segment, I guess, because it's going to start a whole nother topic.
We just going to have to bring it back.
But how do you, when you got into your relationship with your wife, how did you transition from that terrible situation that happened to you when the young lady burned your house down? How did you not carry that hurt or that frustration over into a new relationship? That would have been my question.
But we're going to bring him on.
Yes.
We're going to go into hour number 2.
Oh,
so
yes.
Just be ready for the phone call. We're going to be bringing you another show.
I'm ready. Very good question. I can't wait to answer it.
See? Come on, Ms. D.
I just want to say that keeping God first in all relationships, especially romantic relationships and marriage, is first and foremost. But in any relationship, romantic relationship, courtship, or marriage, we need more than romantic love. And my top 3 are going to be mutual respect, support for each other's endeavors, and trust. And I think we touched on that. I know you did, Lonnie, but those are important. Mutual respect, mutual support for each other's endeavors, and trust. So I'm going to leave it with that.
Absolutely. And just to kind of tie it all together, for me, I want for people to understand the importance of unconditional love. So mutual love is great, but unconditional love is something totally different. Patricia was saying how she just learned really about the aspect of teamwork. And, you know, for me, I've been married for 20 years now. And so, yeah. And so it was,
Congratulations.
I just really realized that I didn't understand what the word unconditional meant, right? And so I'm finna break all kinds of rules right now. I'm finna break all kinds of rules because one of our guests just popped on. So what we gonna do, if everybody got some time, if the Facebook users got some time, if Sir Lonnie got some time,
Okay, give me a second.
Sir Walter.
Hey!
So we're going to just go ahead and extend the panel a little bit. Hello, sir. How are you doing? We're talking about the good, bad, and ugly of love. So you called us right before we ended. So we're going to extend it a little bit because Tanya had a question. So you just get prepared because you're going to jump on in here. But Tanya, re-ask your question to Lonnie because he said he couldn't wait to answer it anyway. So we're going to go ahead and this is the after show, y'all. This is the after show. After show. So go ahead, Ms. Tanya.
So my question was, how do you transition into the new relationship without carrying in the old baggage from the previous relationship in the situation where you explained with the previous lady?
So when she burned my house down,
what you coming into?
Yeah. She burned my house down. Like I said, I was done with women. I was done with being faithful. I was done with being a one-woman man. I was ready to be a player like my daddy. And that was my mindset. But as I said, when I met my wife, it was like she changed the game. And when I saw her, she turned my mind a different way. And I was just like, you know what? I can't put to her what someone else did to me. And it's not fair to her to have to receive the what this other world deserves, right? So I had to give her an A and let her work to keep that A herself instead of starting off, say, well, you know what, the last one did that to me and I can't trust you for this. No, I gave her an A and she had to keep that A for herself.
Well, that's what's up.
The reason why I asked that question, because it seemed like nowadays a lot of people hold you hostage in what someone else done, and they won't progress the relationship because of their fear of what they've experienced.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why I asked that question.
No, she, like I said, when she changed the game, I had to change the game with her, and I had to be and play the game the way she wanted to play it, because, like I said, it was not fair to her to have to deal with what someone else had did to me, and it's not fair to me to have to receive what someone did to her.
That's good.
I think we talked about that a little bit last week, not holding future relationships or new partners, not holding them accountable for something that someone else has done in our past. That is really detrimental to any ongoing new relationship.
Yes, it
Absolutely. And so what we're going to do, we're going to yield the floor and get Sir Walter Jones's opinion on some of this stuff. So, sir, we're talking about the good, bad, and ugly of love. So just real quick, can you kind of share with us what was probably one of the relationships that you would consider your best, what made it your best, and then what was one of the worst and what made it the worst?
Oh, wow. That's a loaded question. And because y'all at the end of this show, I'm going to have to take this over to the Sir Walter Jones show and finish it. There's no way in heaven or in purgatory that I can answer this in the couple of minutes that I have.
You got some time. Go ahead.
But good, bad, and ugly, we all have experienced them. I think Tonio brought up a wonderful question about bringing in a toxic issue into a new relationship. We all bring in baggage. There's an old adage that says a dog that carries a bone brings a bone. So I may be bringing in something to this woman's life, but she may be bringing something into my life as well. We tend to be looking at tunnel vision relationships. Okay, so she's bringing something as well if she was in a relationship that was toxic. Okay. And so we both have to make sure that both of us are the most important person in the world.
That's right.
And in the room, and wherever we are, we must be the most important person. Now, both of us will always be trying to compare, whether we tell the person or not. We have comparitis. We all do it. All right. We just don't always necessarily say that I'm comparing you to my last girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
And might be something that you might say or do or dress, all right, or cook that will remind me of her that may be in a negative memory for me, but I must make sure that I don't bring that in to the new one, because whatever happened between me and the ex has nothing to do with her. All right. And so when we push that into her, it can cause a problem, because women don't, especially women, they don't like for you to compare her.
You're sure right, sir.
You do not want to do that. By my experience and by Lonnie's experience,
That's
you
right.
don't want to ever do that. All right. So I've had several relationships that was very bad, and some of them actually were very good. Just because you're not with that person right now doesn't mean it was horrible. There were some good in all relationships. That's why y'all were together. There was some good somewhere, and you've got to pinpoint what they were. Even though my ex-wife, our relationship was very rocky from day one. It was rocky for 10 years. She did give me 2 beautiful children. All right. It ended in divorce, but my return to her, I returned the favor for her giving me these beautiful children by making sure that whatever she needs, I still make sure that she have what she needs, even though she's my ex-wife. Why? Because those are my children's mom.
That's right.
And if the kid's mom is sick, my kids are sick.
That's right.
You understand? Because they love her. All right. And so where a man's heart is, that's wherever his treasures are, that's where his heart is.
Right.
If I love my son and his treasure or his heart is with his mom, that's his treasure, then I must also make sure that whatever she needs, she'll have. Unfortunately, Christians, I don't understand how we don't understand that last person you were with, of howbeit toxic, was made in God's image, just like you. Right. You understand? My ex-wife just spent a week in my house. I didn't tell everybody, but she was here for a week. Why? Because my daughter lives here and my grandson lives here. And so she came to visit, and I told her, you don't have to check in no hotel. You stay right here. I won't be peeking in your bedroom because we ain't doing that. I ain't doing that. You know what I'm saying? So we must make sure that personhood is always a celebrated personhood. Doesn't matter what happened to you between that person. They might be sorrowful and have a repentant heart. And so you have to now look back at that relationship and hope and pray that he or she will have a better relationship with someone else. Mm-hmm. All right. And so we can't be putting up these awful Facebook posts about your exes. It's sad. It's deplorable to put a post like that, because that person is with someone right now, and your relationship with that person may not be the same with the start over, because they could be doing that to you. You know, right. So you really want to be careful not to do those things, because it makes you look really bad.
Mm-hmm. I have one question to ask, and then I'm gonna yield the floor, and then if everybody is good, we good. But okay, I love Jesus, I love God and the Holy Spirit. But I have a question that I need to ask. So, like, let's say, just in a hypothetical, if you were actually married, okay, understanding that your ex will always be your children's mother, would that invitation still have extended had you been married? And it's a reason why I'm asking, but I'm gonna let you answer first, and then I'll tell you why I asked.
With proper counsel with my wife.
That's right.
All right. And the question is not as far-fetched as you may think, because I've been married twice. And when my wife needed help, my second wife jumped to her help. Understand? She gave her the transportation that she needed. She was able to come over to the house. Now, she didn't stay overnight and stuff like that, because she had her own place at the time. But the relationship I had with my second wife was that is my children's mother. So we need to show as much hospitality as possible, because I ain't in love with the girl. You already know that. And it was easy. You know why it was easy for her to do that? Because she also had an ex, and they both had a son, a daughter, that is. I had to show him hospitality, as difficult as it may have been a few times, because theirs was a little more toxic than mine and the ex. You understand? But I still had to show him that he could trust me with his daughter.
That's right.
Understand? So we had to build trust. And so then when the chips were down, and when it came time for him needing counsel, he called me. All right. A man who's married to his ex-wife, he called me for counseling, and I had him to come over to the house, and I can talk him off of a cliff. You understand? So your question is individually based. Can you as individuals handle that? That's the question.
That's
I can. I never have a problem with that stuff.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say this, and then I'll see if one of the other women have a question for you. So being a stepmom, I was basically in that position, right? Where you still have to, when you come into a step parent, blended family, whatever you want to call it, situation is very deep, because as you said, the love for the child, I think it's from every parent involved, has to supersede the past relationships, and that's very difficult. You got to have some security up in yourself.
Yes.
You understand? Because you are constantly, and especially if the child is a minor, you are constantly connected to that person. That person might as well be walking down the aisle with you. I mean, because you're constantly, and that's not easy to do. And so I just wanted to hear the male perspective on that, because I know that for me, I was talking about, many people were like, how in the world are you raising somebody else's child? How you got a relationship with that person? It wasn't easy, but it was necessary, So in either case, did any of our other ladies have any questions that they wanted to ask Sir Walter at this time? Or
I did just want to say that was powerful what he said when he said that he was able to come to you for counsel. You know what I'm saying? That's very important, because a lot of relationships you see nowadays, they wouldn't dare. It's all prideful, ego. Everybody want to argue and fight, and all that jealous and insecurity that's not even necessary. And they're not realizing the only people that really are getting hurt in that situation is the children.
Yes.
When then all of it is unnecessary. Just, it's a blended family, period.
Absolutely. That's good. That's good. And that's why I said it's an individual struggle for some of you, not you as on the show, but you know what I mean. Because that depends on how close your relationship is with God.
That's true. Absolutely.
That is very important, because the joy of the Lord is supposed to be our strength.
That's right.
And that strength is supposed to also be how we handle or be able to live peaceably with other people. Okay. So if we can't live peaceably with other people, then you need to do a check up on your relationship with God.
Yeah.
You need to check it up. All right. Because even when Jesus was on the earth, he was often telling us to agree with your adversary, quickly, and make peace if possible, he says. Make peace with your brother. Follow peace with all men. Okay, peace. Because the end result of God and our relationship with him is peace. All right. And so if I knew that being a gentleman to my ex, to her ex, that is, and showing him that he could trust me with his daughter. I mean, she's a teenager, and it's difficult now in the age of molestations and rapes and all kind of stuff by stepfathers and stuff like that. I had to show him that I would take good care of his daughter, because she lives with us, And over time, once he trusted me, then he was able to trust me in everything else, and that means he was able to get counsel from me. And so, in return, my ex-wife decided that she would do that for my ex-wife. I know that all this sounds funny, saying all this ex stuff, but y'all know what I mean. Yeah. Okay. My first wife, she was able to bring her in and give her food. And she said, whatever you need, babe, whatever you need with your ex-wife, I understand, because it was easy for her because she had children. All right. My second wife had children with another man. So it was easy for her to understand because I had children with another woman. If she did not have children with another man, it might have been harder
Mhm.
Yeah.
for us because she would not have felt she would not have been able to understand what I was going through. You understand? So our blended family actually worked out, even though the relationships didn't work out. None of it, okay, none of it worked out. But still to this day, I can pick up the phone, and there's no ill will.
Well, that's what's up.
Sometimes we're better off being that way, friends. When you're in a marriage, it seems like everybody is uncomfortable, unstable, insecure. Not insecure as like it's financial, but insecure as far as personal, their confidence and things like that. And then we got to keep in mind everybody has a history from their childhood growing up to when they met their husband or their wife.
Absolutely.
And so all of that plays a part in it too.
That's
Absolutely.
true. That's true. I see in the comment section y'all had some trolls.
Look at here. You already, if nobody else,
We had some trolls.
Yeah.
Man, y'all got some X-rated trolls.
YouTube is why that's why we don't even acknowledge the trolls.
Yeah, we disregard trolls. We disregard trolls.
Oh Lord,
Man. Hey,
my
Lonnie,
first troll.
right. Oh, Patricia, this
I
is
just
your
want
account.
to say to add on to what Sir Walter says, I think it's the maturity of the couple, you know, because all Christians are not mature, no matter what age they are. And it depends on the maturity of the couple and the steadfastness of the individual couple.
Yep.
How close they are, how they communicate. Because it can work out. It absolutely can work out. And when children are involved, the adults need to step up and act like adults and be tolerant and lenient for the best interest of the children.
That's true.
And I know that's easy to say, but it's what we have to do. What we have to do.
It's hard. Many times.
It's hard, but it's easy to say, but it's what we must do in the best interest of the children. And that small children own up into adult children because they still children. They still are children.
They'll always be your children. Absolutely. So in either case, guys, we want to thank y'all the second time around. This was our Koji closing. So the first time didn't really count. This the Koji closing. So, few of them. So we want to thank you guys for sticking around for the after show. We want to thank Sir Walter for dropping in on us at the end. Thank you, Lonnie, for staying the entire time. To all of the ladies, to everybody that tuned in, we want to thank you guys. And we want to remind you, next week, we will not be airing because everybody, I think for the exception of the actress, because she's in Texas, but everybody will be joining me live in Chicago on 87th Street at the theater for the premiere of my documentary, The Four Eyes of the Black Man. And so Sir Walter Jones was actually a part of that project, so he will be there. I'm hoping Lonnie will be able to be in attendance. Tanya and Patricia will also be there. And so you too can join us. All you have to do is go to my website, mynameistennille.com, or any of my Facebook pages, because the information is everywhere. Everywhere. But you can join us next Monday night, February 28th. We are closing out Black History Month with a bang, and we are celebrating our Black men, shining a positive light on them, letting you know that every Black man ain't doing something bad. And if you don't believe me, just come that night, because many of them will be in the house. So thank you all so much. And until next time, y'all, which will be in 2 weeks, until next time, everybody stay blessed.
God bless.
Thank you.